The 6 powerful Stoic mantras for building inner strength and success. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers profound insights that remain remarkably relevant in our complex modern world. Despite being developed over 2,000 years ago, Stoic principles continue to guide individuals through personal challenges, helping them develop resilience, maintain equilibrium, and find meaning amidst life's inevitable difficulties. This exploration of 6 powerful Stoic mantras provides practical wisdom for navigating daily challenges and achieving lasting success through inner development rather than external achievement. These mental frameworks serve as touchstones that can transform our responses to life's circumstances, empowering us to live with greater intention and tranquility. The foundation of Stoicism and its modern relevance. Stoicism emerged in Athens around 300 BCE and was later embraced by prominent Romans including Seneca, Epictetus, and Emperor Marcus Aurelius. At its core, this philosophical tradition focuses on developing personal virtue, rational thinking, and emotional resilience. Unlike many ancient philosophies that remain confined to academic study, Stoicism offers practical tools for everyday challenges, which explains its resurgence in popularity in our anxiety-ridden digital age. The fundamental premise of Stoicism centers on distinguishing between what we can and cannot control, a principle articulated by Epictetus, who taught that we cannot control the external events around us, but we can control our reactions to them. This insight forms the cornerstone of Stoic practice, offering a pathway to peace amid chaos. Many people today feel overwhelmed by the pace of change, information overload, and constant connectivity. The Stoic emphasis on managing one's internal responses rather than external circumstances provides a timeless antidote to modern stress. Stoicism doesn't promise the elimination of difficulty. Rather, it offers tools to navigate hardship with dignity and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius, who practiced Stoicism while ruling the Roman Empire during a pandemic and constant warfare, noted in his private journal, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This shift in perspective, from external conditions to internal responses, creates the foundation for the 6 mantras we will explore. The power of mantras in Stoic practice. Before examining specific mantras, it's important to understand why they hold such transformative potential. The Stoics recognize something that modern psychological research has confirmed. Our thoughts powerfully shape our experience of reality. A mantra, a repeatedly used phrase with significant meaning, serves as a mental tool to redirect thought patterns and emotional responses toward more productive and peaceful channels. The mind naturally gravitates toward negative thinking, a tendency evolutionary psychologists call negativity bias. This bias once served a protective function, helping our ancestors remain vigilant against threats. However, in modern life, this predisposition often creates unnecessary anxiety and distress. Stoic mantras counteract this tendency, training the mind to focus on constructive interpretations and responses to events. These mantras are not mere positive thinking or wishful affirmations. Instead, they embody profound philosophical truths about human existence, serving as concentrated reminders of Stoic principles. When internalized through consistent practice, they create cognitive frameworks that automatically engage during challenging situations, preventing reactive emotional responses and enabling thoughtful choices. Just as physical exercise strengthens the body, the regular application of these mantras strengthens mental resilience and emotional regulation. Stoic practitioners historically used daily meditation and journaling to reinforce these principles. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, for instance, contains repeated self-reminders of key Stoic concepts, essentially personal mantras he used to guide his thinking and behavior. Today, we can integrate these same powerful mental tools into our modern routines through morning reflection, written journaling, or even digital reminders throughout the day. Mantra number 1: control what you can, accept what you cannot. This first mantra encapsulates perhaps the most fundamental principle of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, who began life as a slave before becoming a renowned philosopher, emphasized this distinction as the pathway to inner freedom. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens, he taught his students. This insight offers immediate relief from the frustration of trying to manage aspects of life that lie beyond our influence. The practical application of this mantra begins with consciously categorizing our concerns. When facing any situation, we can ask, "Is this something I can control?" If yes, we direct our full attention and effort toward it. If not, we practice acceptance rather than resistance. This mental habit conserves emotional energy and focuses our efforts where they can be effective. For example, in preparing for a job interview, we can control our preparation, punctuality, and presentation, but not the interviewer's mood or the qualifications of other candidates. Focusing exclusively on our controllable factors not only improves performance, but also reduces anxiety. Research in psychology confirms the wisdom of this approach. Studies show that perceived control significantly impacts stress levels and mental health. When people believe they have some degree of control in a situation, they experience less stress and greater well-being, even when facing substantial challenges. Conversely, trying to control the uncontrollable leads to frustration, anxiety, and learned helplessness. The Stoic mantra offers a practical framework for distinguishing between the two, creating what psychologists now call an internal locus of control. This mantra also applies to our relationship with the past. We cannot change past events, but we can control our interpretation of them and the lessons we extract. As Epictetus noted, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By focusing on our response rather than unchangeable circumstances, we reclaim agency even in difficult situations. This shift transforms us from passive victims of circumstance to active shapers of our experience. Mantra number 2: focus on the present moment. The second Stoic mantra directs attention to living fully in the present, a concept remarkably similar to contemporary mindfulness practices. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, "Concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness." This focus on the present moment counters the human tendency to ruminate on the past or worry about the future, mental habits that generate unnecessary suffering. The Stoics recognized that much of our distress comes from mentally time traveling, regretting past mistakes, or anxiously anticipating future problems. Yet the only moment where we have actual power to act is the present. By anchoring awareness in current experience, we access our full cognitive and emotional resources rather than dispersing them across imagined scenarios. This present-focused attention enables clearer thinking, better decision-making, and deeper engagement with life. Practicing this mantra involves regularly redirecting attention to current experience whenever the mind wanders. During conversations, we can focus completely on listening rather than planning our response. While working, we can give undivided attention to the task rather than multitasking. Even during routine activities like eating or walking, we can engage fully with sensory experiences rather than operating on autopilot while the mind ruminates elsewhere. This present moment awareness doesn't mean ignoring responsibilities that require planning. Rather, It means approaching planning itself as a present activity, giving it full attention rather than allowing the mind to cycle through worst-case scenarios or idealized outcomes. When planning becomes anxious rumination, the Stoic practitioner recognizes this mental habit and gently returns attention to productive action in the present. Modern neuroscience supports this ancient wisdom. Research shows that mind-wandering correlates with unhappiness, while present-moment awareness activates brain regions associated with well-being and cognitive control. Furthermore, regular mindfulness practice physically alters brain structure, increasing density in areas responsible for attention, sensory processing, and emotional regulation. What the Stoics discovered through philosophical insight, modern science now confirms through brain imaging. Mantra number 3. Embrace challenges as opportunities. This third mantra represents one of Stoicism's most powerful psychological tools, the reframing of obstacles as opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius articulated this perspective when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This perspective transforms adversity from something merely to be endured into a catalyst for developing virtue and strength. Unlike philosophies that aim to eliminate suffering, Stoicism recognizes difficulty as an inevitable and even necessary part of a meaningful life. The question becomes not how to avoid challenges, but how to respond to them in ways that foster growth. This mantra trains the mind to automatically search for the opportunity within every obstacle, to ask not, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What quality or virtue can I develop through this experience?" This approach aligns with contemporary psychological concepts like post-traumatic growth and resilience. Research shows that many individuals who face significant adversity ultimately report positive psychological changes, including greater appreciation for life, more meaningful relationships, enhanced personal strength, recognition of new possibilities, and spiritual development. The Stoic mantra anticipates and accelerates this process by intentionally looking for growth opportunities within challenges rather than waiting for retrospective insights. Practical application involves regular reflection on current challenges. When facing a difficult situation, pause to consider, what strength might this help me develop? What lesson might I learn? How might this prepare me for future challenges? For example, a conflict with a colleague becomes an opportunity to practice patience and clear communication. A project setback becomes a chance to develop creative problem solving. Even physical illness can become an opportunity to cultivate acceptance and appreciation for health often taken for granted. The Stoics often employed a technique called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, imagining potential challenges in advance and mentally rehearsing constructive responses. This practice builds confidence in our ability to handle difficulties and reduces fear of the unknown. Modern sports psychology uses similar visualization techniques to prepare athletes for competition, demonstrating the practical effectiveness of this ancient approach. Mantra number 4. Seek wisdom and virtue. The fourth mantra encapsulates the Stoic commitment to continuous learning and character development. For the Stoics, the ultimate goal of life was not external success or even happiness in the conventional sense, but eudaimonia, flourishing through the cultivation of virtue and wisdom. This mantra redirects attention from external achievements to internal development, from what we have to who we are becoming. The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues as the foundation of a good life: wisdom, sound judgment; courage, appropriate risk-taking; justice, fairness in dealings with others; and temperance, self-discipline. These virtues represented excellence of character, which they considered the only true good, a possession that, unlike wealth, status, or even health cannot be taken away by external circumstances. As Epictetus advised, make it your study to confront each harsh impression with the words, "You are but an impression, and not at all what you seem to be." Practicing this mantra involves regular self-assessment regarding character development. Rather than evaluating success solely by external metrics, salary increases, possessions acquired, or status achieved, the Stoic practitioner asks questions like, am I becoming wiser in my judgments, more courageous in facing fears, more just in my dealings with others, more disciplined in my habits? This internal scorecard provides a more stable foundation for self-worth than external validation. The pursuit of wisdom also requires intellectual humility, recognizing the limits of our knowledge and remaining open to new information. Stoicism emphasizes rational thinking based on evidence rather than opinion or emotional reaction. This aspect of the philosophy aligns with modern scientific thinking and critical reasoning. By questioning assumptions and seeking deeper understanding, we make better decisions and avoid unnecessary conflicts based on misperceptions. This mantra's emphasis on character development offers a powerful antidote to the modern tendency toward superficial self-improvement. Rather than focusing exclusively on productivity hacks or appearance enhancement, Stoicism directs attention to developing qualities that create a truly good life: wisdom to discern what matters, courage to face difficulties, justice in our relationships, and self-discipline in our habits. These virtues generate not just personal benefits, but contribute to the common good. Mantra number 5. Live a life of service. The fifth mantra reflects the Stoic understanding of human beings as naturally social creatures with responsibilities to the larger community. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "We were born to work together, like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower." This perspective counters individualistic tendencies by emphasizing our interconnectedness and mutual dependence. The Stoics recognize that true fulfillment comes not from self-focused pursuits, but from contributing to something larger than ourselves. They conceived of humanity as a single body, with each person serving as a limb or organ with specific functions that contribute to the whole. This organic metaphor emphasizes both individual purpose and collective welfare. As Marcus Aurelius noted, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." Practicing this mantra involves regularly assessing how our actions contribute to the common good. When making decisions, we can ask not just, "How does this benefit me?" but "How does this benefit my community?" This broader perspective often leads to more satisfying choices aligned with deeper values. Service doesn't necessarily require grand gestures. It can manifest in daily kindnesses, conscientious work, mentoring others, or civic participation. This service orientation aligns with contemporary research on well-being. Studies consistently show that pro-social behavior, actions benefiting others, correlates with greater happiness and life satisfaction. Volunteering is associated with better physical health, reduced depression, and even longer lifespan. What ancient Stoics recognized as virtuous, modern science confirms as beneficial both personally and collectively. The Stoic emphasis on service doesn't mean neglecting self-care or personal needs. Rather, it recognizes that human flourishing occurs within a social context and depends on healthy relationships and communities. By serving others, we simultaneously fulfill our nature as social beings and create the kind of society that supports everyone's well-being. This virtuous cycle replaces the self-defeating pursuit of narrow self-interest that undermines collective welfare and ultimately individual happiness as well. Mantra number 6. Be grateful for what you have. The final mantra focuses on cultivating gratitude, a practice the Stoics considered essential for tranquility and contentment. Rather than focusing on what's lacking or desired, this mantra directs attention to the abundance already present in our lives. As Epictetus taught, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. The Stoics practiced a mental exercise called negative visualization, premeditatio malorum, briefly imagining the loss of valued people, possessions, or abilities. This practice counters hedonic adaptation, our tendency to quickly take for granted what we have while focusing on what we lack. By mentally rehearsing potential losses, we renew appreciation for ordinary gifts like health, relationships, and basic needs that often go unnoticed until threatened or absent. Modern research confirms the power of gratitude practices. Studies show that regularly expressing gratitude increases happiness, reduces depression, improves sleep, strengthens relationships, and even enhances physical health. What the Stoics intuited through philosophical reflection, contemporary psychology validates through empirical research. The simple act of directing attention toward appreciation rather than acquisition or complaint produces significant well-being benefits. Practicing this mantra might involve beginning or ending each day by identifying specific things you're grateful for, not as a rote exercise, but with genuine reflection on their value. These could include relationships, abilities, experiences, or even challenges that have fostered growth. Marcus Aurelius began his day with this reflection. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Gratitude practice can be enhanced through periodically going without certain comforts or conveniences, what Stoics called voluntary discomfort. By temporarily experiencing some deprivation, we renew appreciation when returning to normal circumstances. For example, fasting heightens gratitude for food. Camping without modern amenities renews appreciation for shelter, and periods of silence increase gratitude for communication and connection. This mantra doesn't promote passive acceptance of injustice or unnecessary hardship. Rather, it helps us distinguish between genuine problems requiring action and perceived lacks created by comparison or unrealistic expectations. By focusing attention on existing abundance rather than absence, we create a stable foundation of contentment from which to address genuine needs or pursue meaningful goals. Integrating Stoic mantras into daily life. These 6 mantras: control what you can, focus on the present, embrace challenges, seek wisdom and virtue, live a life of service, and practice gratitude, provide powerful tools for navigating life with greater resilience, wisdom, and fulfillment. Their effectiveness depends not on intellectual understanding alone, but on consistent application in daily life. The morning represents an ideal time to review these principles, setting intentions for the day ahead. As suggested in A Stoic's 9-minute micro-morning routine for guaranteed good days, this might include affirmations like, "Today I will focus only on what's necessary," and "Today I will spend no time on what I can't control." This morning practice primes the mind to respond to the day's events through a Stoic lens rather than defaulting to reactive patterns. Evening reflection provides an opportunity to evaluate how well you embodied these principles throughout the day. Questions might include, which mantra proved most helpful today? Where did I struggle to apply these principles? What opportunities for growth did today's challenges present? This reflection helps identify patterns and reinforces commitment to ongoing practice. Visual reminders can serve as prompts throughout the day. This might include posting the mantras where you'll regularly see them, setting phone reminders with specific mantras at strategic times, or creating a desktop background with key principles. These environmental cues help interrupt automatic reactions and recall Stoic perspectives at decision points. Community support enhances individual practice. Discussing these mantras with like-minded friends, joining Stoicism focus groups, or even sharing insights on social media creates accountability and enriches understanding through diverse perspectives. The growing popularity of Stoicism has created numerous online and in-person communities dedicated to applying these principles in modern life. Conclusion: the path to everyday success. The 6 Stoic mantras explored here offer more than philosophical concepts. They provide practical tools for navigating daily challenges with greater resilience, wisdom, and fulfillment. By integrating these principles into your thoughts and actions, you develop the inner strength to weather life's inevitable storms while finding meaning and tranquility in the journey. Success through this lens differs from conventional definitions focused exclusively on external achievement. For the Stoic practitioner, true success means responding virtuously to whatever circumstances arise, maintaining equanimity during difficulties, making wise decisions amid uncertainty, treating others justly regardless of their behavior, and finding contentment independent of external conditions. This inner success creates a foundation for outer achievement while ensuring that setbacks don't undermine core well-being. Building a Stoic mindset requires patience and consistent practice. As with any meaningful skill, mastery comes gradually through daily application rather than intellectual understanding alone. There will be moments when emotions override philosophy, when reactions precede reflection. The Stoic path isn't perfection but progress, continually returning to these principles despite inevitable lapses. Marcus Aurelius himself acknowledged this ongoing struggle. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Yet he continued practicing throughout his life, returning again and again to the principles that sustained him through personal loss, political challenges, and military campaigns. His example reminds us that Stoicism isn't about achieving permanent tranquility, but about continually realigning with wisdom when life inevitably knocks us off center. The journey of incorporating these mantras begins with small steps, perhaps focusing on just one principle for a week, or practicing morning and evening reflection for a few minutes each day. Notice how these practices affect your thoughts, emotions, and interactions. Over time, you may find yourself responding to challenges with greater equanimity, making decisions with greater wisdom, and experiencing a deeper sense of purpose and contentment. As you integrate these timeless principles into your modern life, remember the words of Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. These 6 Stoic mantras help define what you would be: resilient, present, growth-oriented, virtuous, service-minded, and grateful. The daily practice of embodying these qualities creates not just a philosophy, but a life lived with purpose, wisdom, and inner strength.